Hello everyone, this is Prajan Shrestha, a computer science student at Concordia University, Chicago, and this is the sequel of my introduction to Linux. So, in this tutorial, we are going to talk about more Linux commands. We are going deeper, and then we'll also learn Linux along the way. So, now let's get started. So, in this tutorial, we are going to talk about users, how to know which user is using the system, and also we'll talk about finding files. We'll talk about Linux manual to know about the command information, and also we will talk about how to redirect output, and we'll also talk about concatenation. So Linux as a multi-user operating system. So since we already know that Linux is a multi-user operating system, so every user wants to store his or her files privately by default. And in Linux, this is called your home directory. So home directories are referred with syntax tilde, and the username, as you can see here, it is optional. So username, if the username is not given, then it redirects to the current user. Okay, so getting information about the user. So to get information about the user, we have a command called who am I. So this command prints username of the current user. So we also have another command which is id. So and these are the options. Okay, these are optional, and with the help of id it prints user and group information for each specified user, and with the help of -u option it only prints the user id, and if -u and n options are given, then it prints the username. So in the same way, getting information about commands. So there are a lot of commands in Linux, so every command is hard to remember. So having a commands manual is a great win to have, and for that we have a command called man. So this helps to know about the commands information. So and with the help of man command there are and with -k we can have keywords. So with keywords we can search for commands, and the keywords can also take wildcards. We'll talk about it later. Okay, so finding files and directories. So there is a command called find that helps to find the files and directories. So it takes the starting point, so from which point you are going to find the files and expression. So as you can see, here is an example. So we use find command, then tilde, which is the home directory. This is the starting point, and then the expression, that is we are taking the name, and let's say for example the file name with test and everything with which starts with test. So with the help of this command, it helps to find the files or directories which starts with test. Okay, so in the same way we also have redirecting output command. So we may require to store the output in a separate file. So for that we have this symbol, the greater than symbol. So for example, if we type this command, so find dot, for example this is the starting point, so current directory abc.txt to output.txt. So it helps to find abc.txt, and it stores the contents in the output.txt. So for instance, if the output.txt doesn't exist, it creates a new file called output.txt, and if output.txt exists, then it overrides contents of output.txt file. And there is another symbol which is double greater than symbol, which this helps to append the output onto the contents of a file. Okay, so in the same way we have cat command to concatenate the files. For example, if we have two files, which is let's say file1.txt and file2.txt, then with the help of cat command, it shows the contents of file1 and file2 in the terminal. So in the same way we can also use the greater than symbol to store the file1.txt, the contents of file1 and file2 into output.txt2 by using this. the greater than symbol. Okay, so we'll go jump into the live tutorial now. So let's say the first command which I'm going to type is who am I. So with the help of this command, I get to know the current user which is using the system, which is Prajan Shrestha, that is me. And in the same way, so if we type id Prajan Shrestha, okay, so this shows the id of the current user. So it has user id, group id, and groups, etc. So in the same way, there is an option that is dash u. So if I type the username, then it shows the id of the current user. And in the same way, if I type u plus n, then it shows the name of the current user. So these are some of the commands and options to know to get information about the current user. And in the same way, to know the manuals, we can type man and the command. For example, id. So as you can see, it gives the list of information of the id command. So we have some options such as dash a, dash z, dash g, dash g. So in the same way, we can get a lot of information using the man command. So to get out of this, we use q. So in the same way, the man command, it also takes keywords from dash k. So for example, I know a command to copy a file which is cp. So if I want to know more information, if I want to get more information about the cp command, then with the help of this keyword and using this wildcard. So wildcard is something which starts from star or question mark. So by typing this command, I can get a lot of information about the cp command, as you can see here. So the man command is going to be really helpful for that. And in the same way, let's say if I want to find a file or a directory, so for that we have a command called find. So and it needs to get a starting point. Let's say for example, I'm taking a starting point which is my home directory, which represented by tilde, and the expression, so name, and then let's say my f, and then everything that starts with my f. So as you can see, it gives, so I have two files, which is my filters.txt and my file.txt. So with the help of find command, it helps to find my files and directories. So in the same way, let's talk about the cat command. For instance, I have note1.txt, sorry, note1.txt, note2.txt, and then note3.txt. So if I want to concatenate my note1, note2, and note3, so for that we have cat command. So cat note1.txt, note2.txt, and then note3.txt. So as you can see, with the help of cat command, I can see all the contents of note1, note2, and note3. So if I want to put these contents in a separate file, then I can do that with the greater than sign, as I have discussed earlier. So let's say, and then note3.txt to output.txt. So what it's basically doing is it is concatenating note1, note2, and note3 to output.txt. So if I hit ls, then as you can see, I have output.txt here. So if I do cat output.txt. So if I use cat and then only one file, then it shows the contents of that file. Okay, so as you can see here, I have the contents of node 1, node 2 and node 3 in output.txt file. So there is one command that I want to talk about, that is the appending command. So which is the double greater than sign. So let's say I have one file which is node for the txt. So if I want to append the contents of node4.txt to output.txt, then I can simply concatenate node4.txt to output.txt, append yeah, append in output.txt. So if I hit cat output.txt, then I can get the contents of output.txt as well without overwriting output.txt. So this, the double greater than sign, it is just appending the contents. Okay, so I would like to stop here, and so this is the part 1 of going deeper series. So in the next part I'm going to talk about using Linux commands for printing, manipulating directories, and also knowing about the disk information. So we are going to look into that, and then so stay tuned for that tutorial, and thank you for watching this tutorial. And if you have any questions, please drop in the comment section. Okay, and thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.